Hello everyone, this is Cesar. I wanted to talk about important subjects, things that are happening in the world. First of all, about politics. I want to remind people that we need to choose the right people for our government. We don't want to choose the wrong ones. Actually, in South America, in a few days there are going to be elections for people who are going to be mayors, things like that, governors. So it's very important for people to choose the right ones. We don't want to choose somebody that is going to make things worse. Okay, for example, Adolf Hitler, you know what he did. Um, so we don't want things like that to happen to us. We remember Hugo Chavez, things that happened when he was in the government. And then, for example, in his case, he promised one thing and he did another. So, and then he gave the government to, instead of just giving it back, it looks like he basically gave it to Nicolas Maduro, and then you know what he did. So, and what is he doing? He has been in power for many years and continue to want to do that. It's kind of amazing that a president will be able to keep on winning and winning and winning, by different means. I mean, there should be a limit on how many periods can a president be in the government. I mean, I'm not sure what happened if he modified the constitution to be able to be in power for multiple multiple periods. I mean, he should have been already by constitution should have been basically mandated to step down for the next people. You know what I'm saying? I think that right now what is happening is there is a female who is actually in a great chance to be an oppositor, the opposite for the next elections in 2024. He basically had her unqualified by the control that he has over the elections. I don't agree with presidents to be having so much power. I mean, having control of being for example, president being the supreme power for the military, a president being able to demote the top colonels and generals, substituting for the ones on the need, things like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, making basically whatever he wants with the government and with other institutions. You know what I'm saying? There should be more control over what a president can or cannot do. You know what I'm saying? I think that some governments are giving too much power to the president. Like if the Congress doesn't do something, then the president can decide and even make laws on his own. You know what I'm saying? So I think the rules on things that cannot or cannot do should be limited, more limited than what it is now, or the way the governments are being run should be modified. For example, Donald Trump, he's now facing a lot of charges, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, there should be more control of what a president can do. You know what I'm saying? I remember Rafael Correa when he was in Ecuador, things like that. For example, Daniel Ortega is basically in power, has been in power for many years, controlling basically the country. So there are a lot of people in power doing whatever they want, and that's kind of dangerous for people to be giving so much power to a president or a minister. You know what I'm saying? the powers for a president or minister, prime minister should be much more limited. The way the governments are run should be modified. You know what I'm saying? That's when bad things can happen. Wars, things like that. People who stay in power and they're basically very difficult to bring down. You know what I'm saying? There should be more control, more ways for people to bring people down, bring presidents and ministers down, either by the Congress being able to call for elections for demoting a president or prime minister, things like that. I mean, there should be more safeguards in governments for people who get into power and do crazy things and destroy countries. You know what I'm saying? They promise one thing and they start doing other things. So we don't want that. We want more control over what is happening, what the presidents are able to do, what the Congress is able to do, things like that. I mean, the way governments are designed is not the optimal. There is some presidents who are in their own side, do their own things, and then things get worse. You know, for example, this is a page called Inside Crime that shows things that are happening in the world. This is in English and in Spanish, and it tells different countries and things like that, what's happening in the world. For example, in Colombia, what is happening in Colombia, things like that. So my suggestion is to modify, and basically that should be by main or the international institutions that should be able to demote the presidents, or I mean, there's got to be a way to control what presidents and prime ministers are doing. You know what I'm saying? Because as of right now, the world is going worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? A lot more crime, a lot more everything. It's terrible. So we don't want that to happen. So I recommend you to read InsideCrime.org. I mean English and Spanish. Another magazine that I read is Semana, which is basically meaning week. It talks about the news in Colombia, but I mean every country has their own papers, and you can pick the one that you're interested in. La Hora de la Verdad is actually talking about what is happening in Colombia. So this is in Spanish, but it's pretty good. Alejandro Bermeo is a very good. I guess he's actually a lawyer. He's reporting what's happening in Colombia. Okay. So there are a lot of concerning situations happening in the world. Climate change. You know, the sea is getting higher and higher in level. You know, there is Antarctica and things like that. The cold areas of the world are getting smaller and smaller. You know, and the water going up and up, and it's already inundating multiple areas of the world, and actually there is more rain into locations. I guess it's because the sea is hotter, so it's evaporating more, and then there is more rain. So a lot of things happening, kind of weird changes that are happening in the world because of climate change. Okay, so there are a lot of worrisome things happening. Religions also have to do with it. Their own religions, people choosing believing in things that tell them to do, you know, on the name of God to kill or to whatever. I don't agree with a religion that tells you to in the name of God to be killing people. You know what I'm saying? Or fighting for land. I mean, I wish there were no borders where everybody could live anywhere, but you know, so as of now there are borders. And then people fighting for land, things like that. The people, because it's a religious sacred site, then they kill just to be there, things like that. I mean, it's a terrible situation in the world. It's terrible. So Let's try to live together, help each other, not to fight and not to kill, not to anything that is against anybody else. I mean, the goal, God is not gonna want you to be killing in His name. You know what I'm saying? So no, anything that teach you kill or do bad things against each other, that's not a good religion in my opinion. Okay, and on top of that, we're having a lot of things with health, viruses, the COVID-19, things like that. A lot of illnesses going on. So the world is having a lot of trouble right now. It's having a lot of issues. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching. Let's get together and help each other instead of just kill each other. Okay? Take care. Goodbye.